just based on the Wyckoff schematic. As you guys can see during phase A, I mean, this is played out almost to the T. And so now we're just simply going through phase C to phase D transition, waiting for that aggressive move in the SOS phase. And that will come, in my opinion, with an aggressive move for Bitcoin, similar to what happened for gold during a move like this, or even a move like this. We need to see Bitcoin see an explosive move to the upside, and that would also affect XRP as well too. And then that would trickle down the ladder to other altcoins. So when we look at others right now, which is every single altcoin excluding the top 10 by market cap, we can see a similar revival pattern. Compared back to the past, look at what happened here between roughly the 19th of September 2024 and the 8th of November. Well, after the altcoin market broke this descending resistance right here, we had a consolidation phase take place, simply forming a higher low to then spring off of, break these previous highs right here, which was resistance on the 22nd of July, also the 29th of September, that was also support during the 14th of April until the 30th of April right here. This was a massive zone to watch because once others broke it, we guys could see this aggressive breakout, aggressive back test, and then we just exploded to the upside. And so right now we can see where that zone would be. So here's the zone of resistance right here from the 12th of May at roughly $295 to $300 billion. That also was support right here from the 19th of December until the 13th of January. So, well, what's happened recently? You guys can see this downtrend right here, lower highs, the lowest low. We finally break this descending resistance. We rally all the way back up into this zone right here, similar to what happened by the 27th of September of 2024. And then we get rejected from it and we just consolidate here with lower lows and lower highs, inevitably forming a higher low right here, getting ready for the altcoin market to spring back off of it into this zone of resistance. And whether we push aggressively through it and have an aggressive back test, that just really depends. We just need to watch this zone right here of resistance, because when this move takes place, you guys are just going to see virtually everything start to explode, because when the tide rises, so do all ships. So a lot of these projects that are down 10, like Toncoin down 14%, Injective down 23%, IMX down 18%, all of these coins just start to rally together because the whole entire market starts to break out. Now, if we don't see this and we see Bitcoin experience an aggressive pullback, well then yes, altcoins could pull back a little bit further in this bullish channel right here, but we've been in an uptrend since the 7th of April, and ultimately we've been in an uptrend since the 5th of September and in an uptrend during this entire bull run. It's just taken a lot longer than people have expected. With these massive sell-offs each time of about 60% right here over 125 days, this sell-off right here of about 59-60% over the course of 150 days. So it's easy for a lot of people to lose hope during these sell-offs and these consolidation phases right here, but this is simply a revival pattern, and what I'm expecting to happen next over the next few months is just some massive moves in the altcoin market, and for a lot of altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. Because look at XRP to Bitcoin's price chart right here. We have been in a downtrend since the beginning of this year, since January, just forming lower highs, and we're attempting a breakout right now. This reminds me of what happened back here in 2017, from May of 2017 all the way until December of 2017. That entire year, we were in a downtrend for XRP for like 8 months, which is the majority of the year. And then once we broke out, XRP started outperforming Bitcoin. So right now on the daily chart for XRP to Bitcoin, we see the RSI at 65. The stochastic is at 196. So that's why I'm saying it's not necessarily the best time to accumulate XRP, because we could see some chop within this range, maybe another little pullback here in the short term. But nonetheless, on the macro, if you zoom out, I think it's an excellent time. XRP is looking really good. I would just want to see this SOS phase hold on top of this previous range as support while the relative strength index and the stochastic RSI resets. Because if we bring up the stochastic and the relative on XRP's price chart on the daily, you can see that we're all the way up here in overbought conditions. We're at 99 and 97 on the daily chart, and the RSI is at 64. See, I don't accumulate when we are in overbought conditions. I accumulate when we are in oversold conditions, or when these key indicators have reset after a move to the upside and a back test of a previous range that was resistance that acts as support. So that'd be $2.65. If we see XRP push above $2.65 and then hold on top of that for the SOS phase for an extended period of time, while the stochastic RSI is pulling all the way back down here, and the relative strength index is pulling back as well too, closer to 30 or even below 30, that in my opinion would be the best green light for me to potentially start longing XRP for the next aggressive move to the upside as we go from phase D to phase E in the markup phase. So that's why patience is your best friend here, because look at XRP to Bitcoin's price chart. Well, the stochastic RSI right now is at 100 for the K line, 96 for the D line. The relative strength index is at 65, experiencing this aggressive move up. So eventually there will be a little pullback for XRP to Bitcoin, let's say we break out a little bit further, I would expect there to be some type of consolidation here, somewhat similar to what we saw happen right here for these types of move for XRP to Bitcoin, where XRP, in the short term over the course of like a week or two outperforms Bitcoin, which is this breakout right now, and then just goes sideways or down for a little bit. So I expect something like this for XRP to take place until Bitcoin is finally broken the high, rallying upwards of 115 to 120, potentially 130 or 150, depending on where Bitcoin tops out here. I think this next move for Bitcoin is what pushes XRP to Bitcoin's price chart down a little bit further here as we get out of this downtrend. Because usually every single time I see a downtrend like this, which is lower highs on the price chart, and we have a descending resistance, and we come back to retest it, we either get rejected from it right now, or we push above it, and then we just consolidate on top of it for a period of time, just bleeding out for a little bit longer while Bitcoin has its time to shine. And then once Bitcoin's runs over, then whammy, XRP just starts breaking out. So we have a little bit longer here. That's why I'm not aggressively accumulating XRP right now. I'm not overly bullish on XRP, even though it's looking really good right here on the macro compared to the Wyckoff schematic as we transition from phase C to phase D. If XRP just continues to chop and range higher, forming higher highs and higher lows as we get to this major SOS phase and Bitcoin goes higher, while XRP to Bitcoin's price chart just kind of bleeds out, it just means that Bitcoin is outperforming XRP even as XRP goes up. It doesn't mean XRP does bad if it's going down relative to Bitcoin. It just means Bitcoin does better. And we do have periods in short-term temporary time frames where XRP outperforms Bitcoin in the short term. But in my opinion, in order for XRP to do something like this and have these God candles comparative to Bitcoin, like what happened here from the 6th of December of 2017 until ultimately the 3rd of January of 2018, over the course of that 1 month, that in my opinion would be close to the tail end of this bull run. Because as you can see right here on the 6th of December, Bitcoin was $11,000 and it rallied up to $19,000. And then that was it. The bull run was over. So XRP moved in the last phase of the bull run pretty much during the last, like 12 days while Bitcoin was topping out. So you can see that move right here for XRP on the 11th of December until the 1st of January. It was aggressive. It was really quick, but it was short-lived because that was only 21 days. And so like I talk about, when these moves happen, they happen quick. And when we go through these long, boring consolidation phases, it shakes everyone out the market. They get pissed off and they don't want to hold and wait for those aggressive breakouts. So look at Bitcoin's price chart right here. We saw this consolidation phase right here between $8,000 and $7,800 from the 20th of November until the 25th of November. And although we have been consolidating for a longer time frame, when that move started for Bitcoin right here, XRP made a little move and Bitcoin outperformed it. It wasn't until Bitcoin showed that it could hold on top of this previous range and continue higher that then XRP started to move after the fact right here. Bitcoin experienced a major pullback from the 7th of December from $16,500 to $12,700. During that aggressive pullback, there was liquidity on the sidelines to put where? Into XRP. So because Bitcoin is still below $112,000 and hasn't really made that aggressive move, I would just expect XRP to Bitcoin's price chart to look something like this. Once XRP cools off for a little bit during the SOS phase and consolidates while Bitcoin continues to break out, then Bitcoin would outperform XRP, and then I would start accumulating XRP. Once these key indicators have reset for XRP to Bitcoin's price chart and come down a little bit lower, and the stochastic RSI as well too, because on the daily, we're just in overbought conditions for the stochastic, and the RSI is at 65 right now. So that's like accumulating XRP right here relative to Bitcoin, and right here are on the 22nd of August of 2017, 9th of October, where the RSI just pulled right back down here and the stochastic RSI reversed to the downside. So every single time that we get up in these areas, we always, 100% of the time, reverse. It's just how long do we stay up here before we see the reversal take place? And what does that look like on the price chart, whether we consolidate sideways then continue higher, or we just see it play out similar to what happened here in 2017, where we see this aggressive rally up into a descending resistance and then just continuously trending down for a lower low before the inevitable explosion happens at the tail end of this year.